Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Bears Den Trading Podcast, where we support your journey to becoming a lucrative day trader and entrepreneur. I'm MedMan, and I'm here as always with my mentor and friend Grizzly on Twitter and Instagram as trades_Grizzly and admin at Team Bull. Before we get started, we would love if you'd please like and subscribe so you can catch us every Sunday at noon. And also remember that this podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice, so we encourage you to take notes, practice good risk management, and as always, feel free to reach out to us for more specific questions, info about Team Bull, mentorships, and one-on-one training sessions. These links and more are available at grizzlytrades.com. And speaking of that, if you want to help support the show and everything else we do, including Grizzly's incredible free YouTube content, please take a close look at our favorite products, tools, and services available to you, our beloved fans, for a discount. So, Grizzly, how you doing today, bro?
Wow, that was a mouthful, huh?
Yeah, it was.
I'm doing good. Just relaxing a bit, working on a little content.
How's my accent coming along? Is it maybe a little less today, maybe more? I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like the less we talked, it goes back to your original.
Dang. I feel like our fans were really kind of happy about that. I don't know. At least one of them was. So yeah, I mean, how was last week in the market? What do we got?
I mean, last week was a decent week for me. It was we had a couple of tough days, no doubt. The market just wasn't moving like I prefer. Wasn't working with my trading style. I had a good week. I seen a lot of new traders were struggling just because it just wasn't your typical market. But that's what makes traders better traders when you have them tough weeks. When the market gets easier, which I expect very soon, it's going to have. We need that big movement. We need a big move up, or at least a decent one, enough to catch their profits if we're trading options. It wasn't there a couple of days this week, but that being said, we did have. We traded GME again. Had some nice trades on that. We traded UPST some. Very small account friendly trades we took. What else did we trade? We took a trade on J&J. I was very light. I was very light on that trade. It did exactly what I wanted to. Caught it off a nice bounce area. The calls were only like $40 a piece. So nearly anybody with any account size could have taken that trade. Had a I think the contract actually moved around probably 50% return. What else did I do this week? I sold some calls on my MARA. They did well. I closed them out for a nice profit. But yeah, overall was a decent week. Next week should be much better because we've pulled back into bear territory on SPX. And I look for some good movement. Either way, I don't care which way it goes at this point, but I like to see some good movement. That way we can capitalize on the options premiums,
I'm gonna coin it now. We can just call it bearatory instead of bear territory. It's bearatory. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I actually have from your live Instagram on the 19th. I have that UPST with a star next to it. Kaboom. 48.3 level. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, last week, I mean, we got the news, as it were, that we're definitely in bearatory. We're in a bear market. Do you think that's gonna hold for a minute, or what do you feel?
Man, I don't see it lasting too long. I know, like, it doesn't really matter to day traders. It's just more opportunity. Yeah. But to me, if I'm being honest, there's much more opportunity in a bear market than there is a bull market. Let me just, I guess, summarize that a little.
Mhm.
You can make money going down with options. It's no problem. And you can still make money going up in the bear market if you're day trading because the market's just not going to go straight down. There's going to be days where it pulls back. But everything's going to be cheaper if you're a long-term investor. You're getting a much better buy-in, um, and it's just a good experience. You got to learn if you're going to be a day trader and make it your one of your main sources of income. You've got to know how to trade these different types of markets. Um,
Mhm.
and even for me, every day is a learning experience in this type of market. So I'm just taking it all in. And honestly, I'm doing better in a bear market than I did full bull run last year. So I don't, so can't really
Yeah, I mean,
complain.
it's really all about like like with many other things, it's about experience, but also like exposure to new conditions and new variables and stuff like that. Interesting week last week, but going into the next week, I mean, it just gives us more room to the upside to play with, right? Uh, more
Yeah,
more
definitely
levels
a
to
good
look at.
time. Definitely a good time to get your averages down on your long term.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
when I say that, I'm saying that more towards like the ETFs, like VTI, VOO, stuff like that. That stuff I
Hmm.
prefer. Um, because
Yeah, actually,
just
that's a good
because
idea.
stocks go down, that don't mean they're going to come back up. Not every stock will recover from this, and not every
Yeah.
stock is coming back up. You got to be very careful when you're choosing what you're buying. In this dip, especially.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting point. You got to remember that these are businesses that we are investing here. They're not they can fail. Like full aboard, they can fail and die.
Yeah. And what I'm seeing a lot of, I know we're having a lot of pullback in these companies, but we had a
Mm,
huge run up for the last year, nearly. Well, we've been going down for a minute, but we had a huge run up. So a lot of these companies that are pulling back now, they were just overvalued, and they're really pulling back to what they're worth. Um,
yeah,
just something to keep in mind.
yeah, but I mean, like, how do you take that potential, that energy, and hold it down for very long? You don't, and I feel like just like when this subsides, it's gonna be kind of a vengeance type of return. Or maybe we just see a really good bull summer like last year or something like that, you know?
Yeah,
Is it
I
Go
see
ahead.
what you're saying, but I've looked back and I've read on this.
Mm,
I do remember it in, I guess, what was it, like '09 or whenever we had that nice pullback. Well, it wasn't nice,
mhm,
it was pretty rough, but,
yeah.
it's just opportunity, the best way I can put it. There's just opportunity if you know how to pick out the right stuff?
So, moving on to next week, right? I took a look at earnings whispers, and man, it's looking really good in my opinion. Um, so like obviously it definitely depends on a lot of things like this here bear market here, but the lineup for next week on the earnings list is actually really a lot of team bowl favorites and stuff like that. So, all right. Monday, pre market, we have XPeng, XPEV. And then after, we have Zoom, ZM. Thank you, Zoom. We're recording our podcast on you right now. Tuesday, we've pre market, we've got Best Buy, BBY. Wednesday after, we have NVIDIA, NVDA, and Snowflake, Snow, SNOW. And then on Thursday, we have before the market, Alibaba, BABA, obviously, and Baidu, BIDU.
I think it's gonna be interesting to see what these, China stocks do here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind
Yeah,
of curious to see what they've pulled back so much. I just wanna see what happens here. Um, I don't know that I'll play any earnings this week, though. If I did, it would either be Zoom, Costco, or Nvidia.
yeah, definitely, definitely Nvidia being one to to keep an eye on, obviously, because it's always just a really solid one to watch for levels and everything. Um,
Yeah, you're right. It's an excellent stock to day trade using options. Because the options move well, have good liquidity,
mhm.
usually decent spreads.
Yeah, I mean they're on the pricey side, but well worth it from what I've seen for sure. Um, Snow isn't Snow like quite a cheap stock to play or yeah, like the
Uh,
options are pretty low on that one usually.
yeah, they do. You have to be careful with the spreads on snow though, because it can get a
Mm,
little rough.
I see. Uh, how about for Baidu on Thursday actually? Yeah,
I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes.
Baidu is one that we do in fact like to watch at Team Bowl quite a bit. Um, XPEV is one that I've seen around Team Bowl, but not quite often. But I mean, that's that that's like a double edged like one to watch right there because I mean it's not only is it I think right it's a Chinese stock, but it's also an EV stock. Uh, could be interesting.
Yeah.
So, is there anything in particular that you're keeping an eye out for next week?
No, I'm just gonna create my levels every morning and trade them if they trigger. I really
Yeah.
don't. Um, if someone hadn't mentioned to me that we had crossed over into the bear market, I would have never realized it because I don't really pay attention to that so much as I do just my levels I create.
Hmm.
I trade them, I get in and out, and I go on about my day. Um, I guess that's one good way to keep bias out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it keeps you independent of what the market is doing. You're just doing your own thing. Taking what kind
Yeah,
of like you're like a janitorial service of the market, just sweeping up all the crumbs. I don't know. Those are
I can
big
get in and
words.
out and make $1,000 a day. I'm a happy man. Just go on.
Exactly. Just like drive on through real quick. Just scoot.
Yeah.
We should call it a drive through investing.
I was
Real
gonna
quick.
say this. I caught myself. I had a slower day than I've had in a minute. I mean, it's good. I'm not putting it down. $300 is excellent profit for a day. I'm not, but I made that $300. I'm like, hey, I'm under my daily goal. I was like kind of disappointed in myself. I was like, now I thought about it. I made $300 in a 2 minute trade.
Yeah.
Like, where else can you do that in the world? That I don't know a place. So,
Yeah,
um,
exactly. I mean, I would have to sell my PS5 to get anywhere near that probably in 5 minutes. Though I believe it would sell in 5 minutes for that price. That's for sure. But yeah, um, it's really incredible the amount of leverage that we have as traders once we're well informed and we've become comfortable with the knowledge and the techniques and everything like that and what to watch is really interesting to see a pro taking bites out of the market like that. That was my alarm. It's really interesting to see a pro taking bites out of the market like that on a daily basis, and then have a day that's a little less, and then you see them like we see you like, hey, it's only $300 in comparison to my usual, but it's still $300. Like it's
yeah, I remember a time that when I was out of high school. I remember checks that was, that was $300 check was about what I made when I
yeah.
first come out of high school, which was in '08, '08 or '09, I believe. I was
Mhm.
went to work for a minute. I didn't stay at that job too long because I started doing what I did for all them years. But I went to work for a guy. He laid block and brick, and he paid me. I think it was like it was. I considered it decent then. It was like $8 or something, or $8 or
Mhm.
$9 an hour.
Yeah.
But now, 300 seems like a bad day. It's crazy, ain't it? How
Yeah.
things change.
Yeah. I mean,
um,
it's wild for sure.
I'm trying to keep my voice together here for you all. It really is
Reel
killing
it
me.
in. You need some like green tea or something.
Yeah, I need some
Maybe
coffee.
maybe some matcha coffee. I got some coffee. I've got some nice cold coffee right here. Gotta love it. All right. So we went over last week and we talked about earnings. Yeah, I mean, basically, same plan.
Yep.
Watch on a daily basis. Keep a go watch the watch list because that's amazing. Incredibly invaluable information. Free game there. That will be where you gain the proper insight into the next week. But then you really need to watch the Instagram live on Monday to piece it all together. For sure.
Crazy how fast that blew up. How many people are there now?
Yeah. On the Instagram live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's like at least 200 or 300 every day, right? Something like that.
Well, I mean, we hold steady around 150, but we have probably 300 and something come and go. So
Oh yeah.
started out I started doing it as like 30 people, and it's kind of grew in a month to that.
Yeah, and
I'm telling where it'll be in a year.
for sure. And I am also definitely trying to I'm working on a way to get it also just to stream straight to YouTube for people who use YouTube, it'll still be an Instagram live thing, but it'll like just take a little slice off to the side and be available on YouTube as well. So I'm working on that. That could be really cool if it pans out.
Awesome.
Um,
But yeah, I believe we've covered everything. We're gonna hopefully have a special guest coming on in the next, probably not next episode, but the episode following that. Maybe like a little special edition. So
yeah,
be sure to stay tuned for that.
heck yeah. We may actually, yeah, we're trying to keep these Sunday episodes a little bit shorter, and may even come out with just like some longer special edition episodes with some of our favorite friends, people, traders, entrepreneurs from across our, community.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. And speaking of keeping our episodes short, yeah. Please remember that this podcast is not financial advice. Please take notes. It is for educational purposes only. Practice good risk management. And yeah, definitely watch the Sunday watch list and Monday watch list, weekly watch list. Well, wait, daily watch list on Instagram Live. Ugh. Got anything to add, Grizzly?
Nope.
Nope.
That did it.
That done did it. That was the final swoop. All right, y'all have a great day, a great week, make a lot of money, and yeah, go check out our links